right? Like this is used to be considered one of the better counters. You would just run an Ursa off lane, and it's one of those few heroes that can really pressure a Spectre in lane. Like Spectre can't do anything if you just walk up to her with the Fury swipes. Usually she can take a couple of the way that she lanes is she takes pot shots from people, and she doesn't really care because she's got the dispersion as well as like good regen. But against Ursa, that is not a way that you can play.
I'm trying to think, and I know this is
10 seconds
just because I've been playing it recently, but go to that offlane Viper, get that break.
5 seconds.
Oh God, no, no, no way, dude. For which team? You mean for EG?
For 4Zoomers, get the break.
No,
get that
no
offlane
way.
Viper coming
No
in.
Way. Oh, he's the slowest.
He's so slow.
He's legitimately a slug. Like I know he's supposed to be the flying snake, but to me he's like a flying slug. He's just so incredibly slow. And like I said, usually when people say slow, they're referring to like slow paced. He's literally just physically too slow to play Dota. They need to give that hero some move speed.
Seriously, he's good right now, but he could use a little bit of move speed. Something, please.
Ursa though, very, very good against the Spectre and against the Ember. Honestly, this is a fantastic Ursa game so far. The only thing Ursa doesn't really like that much, it's about 50-50. It's like Clockwork. You can jump out of the cogs, but Clock is really annoying for melee heroes because you just get constantly knocked back by the cogs. You know, you get hit by battery assault. You're in range, you get hooked, so it's a little annoying. But Ursa, very good against Enchantress because you kill her through her passive. Ember, he's all about magic resistance. Spectre just sits there and tanks, and you can't do that versus Ursa. So fantastic Ursa game for sure.
We'll see how Sammy Boy does with this Ursa this time, because of course we saw that he was struggling in the beginning of that first game. Got a lot of space made for him by the rest of the team and was able to recover with the Battle Fury. So I'm interested to see if it's the same build or if, you know, how they're going to go, like how EG are going to play against this Ursa this time. And yeah, there's that Broodmother lineup. Broodmother ban, excuse me, and the Batrider that comes in for EG.
I love this. I like this a lot. This is kind of what I would expect Zoomers to pick. In fact, maybe this is like a block pick. They ban the Brood and then they pick the Batrider. It's very good against Ursa in lane. It's you know, Batrider is one of the best heroes at kiting these heroes like Bristleback and Ursa, these kind of melee heroes that don't like to be slowed. And he's all magic damage, so the physical reduction from Void Spirit and the Ursa's high armor, like these things just don't matter against a Batrider. Like this is a really good back game.
It seems almost like EG maybe kind of banned and pick banned. They banned the Broodmother, and then they pick ban the Batrider because they don't want to give that up to Monkeys Forever. Pick it up, it fits the lineup, aggressive in lane, does pretty well, but you also take it out of the hands of Monkeys Forever. You only had one ban to work with too, so I think that's really well done.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think what you can do here is you can just run the Void mid, and then you pick something that can lane really well against a Batrider. Maybe like let's see, Weaver, something along those lines, and then you just Ursa into the Spectre, and you try to get the correct lanes if you're Zoomers. I think that would really dominate the side lanes. And then for EG, the battle becomes like, how do we get the Batrider versus the Ursa? Okay, so yeah, they pick the Legion. Yeah. So they're gonna run the Legion versus the Batrider, and then they're gonna run the Ursa versus the Spectre. I was thinking more of like a carry sort of hero, but you know, Legion, of course, this is more traditional offlaner that works. That's a Batrider hard counter. So really good lanes if Zoomers can get it.
Yeah, I think this ends up becoming a situation for EG where you're playing a little bit of musical lanes. You want your matchups to be as beneficial as possible. Maybe have the Spectre up against the Legion Commander, have the Batrider up against the Ursa. You know, exact opposite of what 4Zoomers want to have. So we've seen it before. We'll maybe see it here. Just the musical lanes. When the music stops, where will we be? And that always comes down to like who uses a TP first. Like it's always so weird watching that kind of stuff. Is like just seeing all that goes into it, the timings. Like, oh, I died, but I TP'd in a lane. Like now we're kind of screwed. Like
honestly, it's usually the crappier teams, to be totally frank, that mess up and like use a TP. I said both of these teams are high skill enough that I think we'll just see musical lanes for like 5-6 minutes. I think we're not going to see any TPs, or nobody's just going to give up on the lanes and say, okay, well, you know what? Okay, fine, we'll lose the lanes. Like neither of these teams are going to be willing to do that. Like some of the tier 2 teams are willing to do. With that being said, though, we did see EG send crit to support a lane for about 2 to 3 minutes in the last game.
Yeah, that was
So-
really odd because he ended up being like the 5 position almost.
Right, and so that is a way that you can not have to play musical lanes. If you put crit and Arteezy together in the same lane, then what are you going to do? Are you going to send Ursa and Legion to that lane? It's an interesting, that's definitely a way that you can beat the musical lanes. You just say, okay, well, my support's my core now. What are you going to do about that? But we'll see, because that can be also, of course, that's a sacrifice. Ocean is the only one who didn't die. Are you serious? Come on, man. I love these loading screens.
Yeah. What's your go-to action?
I do the death. I always
Yeah,
go for that.
Same.
I'm a big dying fan.
Favorite new caster line?
Let's see. I haven't gotten to the battle pass level where I have like a lot of the chat wheels. I do like that one. Coming through with the woo. That's a good one. It's hype. It's really
that's
hype.
lyrical, right? It doesn't even sound like him in game.
I had no idea that was lyrical.
I'm pretty sure that's lyrical in Trent,
See you
right?
later, nerds. See you later, nerds.
No idea.
At least that's what I thought it was. It doesn't sound.
I'm not saying it's not. Actually, I have no idea.
Yeah. And
When-
this doesn't
when-
sound like him. It just feels like it's pitched or something. I have no idea. Oh boy.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the Sammy Boy aggressive play from EG once again.
Yeah.
Oh my.
This is good stuff. I mean, it's hard to lane into an Enchantress, but this is why they picked the Witch Doctor. You just throw a cask at the creep and it's stunned for 5 seconds. I mean, it's you basically black hole the creep. Very good counter to that to this Enchantress hero. Don't want to play on the high ground. Wow, this is crazy. They're really gonna walk up?
I'm shocked. Yeah, they've got Cask. Like, Arteezy's taking a lot of damage, and he does not look like... Yeah, he's very low. I'm surprised if he survives this. Okay, that...
My claws are ready to go.
Oh, they're trying to tilt him. They're trying to tilt him.
It went from trying to tilt Sammy Boy on the Ursa again to tilting Arteezy on the Spectre.
And you know what? You know what, Bkop? No coincidence. It's the carry players, okay? It's always the carry players that are the tilty, big, whiny babies, okay? That's just the carry role. It's like, oh, come here, baby boy. Let me spoon feed you the game. Oh, please carry me, Mr. Anti-Mage. You know, this is typical Dota 2 stuff.
What's wild is I played support for a long time, and I've recently been playing better as a off lane / mid lane ranked roles, and I definitely feel the toxicity coming in a lot more.
Welcome to the club.
Sammy Boy taking a lot of harassment, and they've got the Ursa up against the Spectre right now, so this is the matchup that 4Zoomers want.
At least dead. Just like that.
I was gonna say, at least that's what I thought they'd won. Now all of a sudden they just lose Husky like that.
Yeah, this is the thing though. Like when you pick the Switch Doctor to deal with the Enchantress, what if she just uses the enchant as a slow? I mean, it's not just for getting creeps, right? So it's an interesting sort of take on the hero to just run up and basically use this as a slow to pair up with the Clockwork. He doesn't seem to be interested in getting any creeps. Well, maybe he can get a Wildkin here. That'll be pretty nice for Fly.
What's the best neutral to grab?
Huh, he got the Ice Armor creep. Wow.
Oh, we're Frost Mage.
Did not expect that. I was thinking he was gonna get the Wildkin and use the Tornado.
I've seen a lot of Enchantresses look for like a Harpy Stormcrafter.
Those are okay. They have a really low mana now is the problem. It's always rough. You can only do like 2 casts of the lightning. Fly just poking away at Sammy Boy here with the slow.
Just throws the enchant on him, throws some right clicks in. He'll have impetus level 2, so then he'll have that extra amount of damage to come in and continue to harass Sammy Boy.
See, this is the problem with EG blocking their own hard camp like this, is that they can't pull using it. And now there's this two tiny little creeps here in the easy camp. Like they cannot control this lane. Okay, in bot lane, Crit is just doing wave cutting. May as well. There's no point in laning against a Legion.
Mm-hmm. That's certainly not going to be that easy.
3 waves, stacks a camp. Love to see this. Although he didn't get the stack, but it's hard when you have a massive creep wave following you.
Well,
this is why I love Batrider offlane. You can just do this in any game. Like it's almost impossible to stop him from doing this.
This is the kind of thing though that I would see Kid Track and Ocean go down.
Both force, yeah.
I was gonna say, you know, this is something that I'd seen a pro game try to emulate in my garbage tier game and completely screw up.
It's rough. It's hard. It's there's a lot of little like nuances, like how to stay alive and running through the trees. Like what do you do when people start chasing you? There's a lot of unanswered questions. In pro games, you don't see people ever having to do these things because they just assume that if you do chase them, that they'll just get away from you.
Sammy Boy, he's got fly, did the rights. And the Maledict. It was either the Maledict that was going to tick and get the kill, or Sammy Boy, and Sammy Boy finished the creep wave and then came over. He took his sweet time.
Speaking of creep waves, RTZ just farming up this whole time. I think he's pretty happy with if his supports are dying here.
Ours, not yours.
He's honestly okay with this because he's farming.
Maledict again. And they've got the cask TPing in his fly, taking a lot of damage, but the enchant, you see the slow on the Sammy Boy where maybe he thought about going in onto RTZ, but immediately is like, I'm way too slow for that. Just leave. Kid Track though, he's got the cogs, he's got the battery assault. Sammy Boy, from an impetus shot from Fly, they'll get themselves at least one. And Husky, he slowed up thanks to the enchant from Fly. So the damage onto this Witch Doctor is definitely felt. And Husky, one more shot. Fairy Fire? Still committing impetus. Oh, that'll get the kill. There Fly goes. And Monkeys Forever loses his bracer and boots. Oof. That's a rough courier to lose.
Crit's being so annoying. So annoying doing this. That's the worst part about the wave cutting thing is that until you're level 5, your courier's not flying, so it's very difficult to send a courier past somebody who's cutting waves like this.
Try harder.
Track, trying to look at mid, but I don't know. It's a Void Spirit.
Yeah, he came over a couple times to try and get a kill on the Gunner in the first game and was never successful. But it might be a little bit different now that he's got Ryoya on the Ember, goes behind the tower with battery assault, was right on Gunner for a moment, but won't commit any further. And Gunner, he does have the Astral Step. He has both charges ready to go with last charge of his bottle being used. And then up towards top, Sammy Boy gets another kill here on the Fly.
Yeah, the Witch Doctor Maledict plus the cask is just too much. With the Ursa slow too on an 8-second cooldown. It is just so much damage if they ever do get on top of you. Good vision from Zoomers. They catch Kitrak trying to make a wraparound play.
Rune of invisibility.
What's the map looking like right now?
This is ours.
Oh boy.
Smoke coming out?
Radiant's middle
I don't know if this is a kill though.
Do I not have
It's a
this
hard
set on
hero.
my computer? I have to. I'm on my new build, so I don't have the F1 set as to show the whole map. So I'm stuck looking at just the Radiant Vision for a second, and I don't want to miss this chase. All right, hold on.
EG. You can't see all of EG.
No, hotkeys. I
I'll
don't know where it
describe.
is. All right. I'll look for it in a second. I have to watch this fight. Fissure comes in. Sammy Boy trying to get the kill on the Kid Track.
Oh,
They'll use the cask, and they'll get the kill onto the Clockwork. But Sammy Boy dead to Ortiz.
1 for 1, but you know, you'd much rather get the carry kill there, especially when Ursa's supposed to be dumpstering this lane.
There it is. All right, I got it.
Earthshaker, TPing bot, looking for crit.
Crit.
Ooh, jukes. He jukes. What a nice juke. I mean,
Radiant are scanning.
that was 3 heroes, 2 cores as well. But 3 heroes that all don't really want to be there, chasing him. Such good space.
Radiant's
Same
bottom
way
tower
move
is under attack.
mid. And again, it's another game where he's not exactly having a fantastic start.
Yeah, this is the rough thing about running an aggro tri lane, because if you lose it, then you can't go to the safe lane because you're just against a hero who's had solo XP the entire time. You can't go mid because you're against a hero who has solo XP, and then you can't go to the off lane because you lost that lane. So it's a big risk, but we saw this last game, and the way Zoomers wins games is they fight people after the laning stage. They don't really care about lanes too much. So I suspect we'll see more of the same. Just lots of running around, 5-manning, fighting. You know, it's this team, it's almost not even worth watching the laning phase for them because they like almost never come out on top of the lanes. They do fine. Like, they do fine, right? They're just not about lane dominating. They just dominate you in team fights.
I think the question becomes again, can they bail out Sammy Boy? Not that Sammy Boy's doing that bad. I think, you know, he's got more net worth than he did in the previous game. I think it's more just the experience that it feels really bad. Nailed it. Cask. And now Sammy Boy, keep track. You do get the kill onto the clockwork, so Sammy Boy recovers with that, or is helped in his recovery effort with that kill.
Ryoya is going an interesting build in this game. You don't see this too much on Ember, but I've kind of felt for a while that this makes a lot of sense against a Void Spirit hero. Like, he can't do anything if he gets Searing Chains. All of his abilities get cancelled by Root, so Ryoya is maxing. He maxes, of course, the Flame Guard, but he's going for the Searing Chains second. He goes 2 points in that because it's a second value point, which is cool to see. Most Embers just skip Chains altogether.
God, look at how slow the Ursa is when the enchant comes in.
With the dagger too, it's
100 move speed. That's
the base. Can't go lower than that. Very sad.
Crit. Not gonna get this outpost, which is pretty significant. You need to get this experience out, and I feel
Radiant's middle tower
that
is
when you
under
lose
attack.
both outposts in the early goings of the game, it definitely makes your mid game a bit more difficult.
It does. Yeah, it's really rough.
This will do nicely.
Honestly, in Dota these days, all of the XP seems to come from the outposts, and all of the gold seems to come from the bounty runs. There's just no gold and no XP on the map, other than those sources. Like, those give a huge amount. Maybe not so much the early outposts, but like the later outposts, for sure.
Sammy Boy, you could see just the harassment coming in when he is constantly being slowed by the dagger, by the enchant, 100 move speed. He's got to really calculate how, you know, can he jump in? Does he have to leave? But Sammy Boy immediately TPs towards mid. Yeah, just a little bit short from getting that slight, maybe a Searing Chains out. Gunner now top 4 heroes here. Astral step away. There's the Remnant forward. Searing Chains is in with the Flame Break being thrown, but an ulti from Husky. This is something that we saw him doing in the previous game when it's just throw the ult. Now they've got themselves the duel onto the Enchantress. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do, to get the kill and the duel victory here for Monkeys Forever. That first duel, first victory is always a sweet feeling to have. And this is, again, what we spoke about with 4Zoomers. The laning may not be dominating, but, you know, when they start to move around, when they start to put the fights together, it feels like they are really well-versed in doing so.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, they show up as 5 to these engagements all the time. But the thing with Dota right now is that you don't really farm that fast by just, like, sitting in a lane. You don't even farm that fast by killing people. It's more so you want to control more of the map so that you have access to, like, bounties and camps and towers, you know, like, and so that's exactly why they prioritize 5-manning, is because they just want to gain map control with their death ball.
So game sitting about even. Monkeys Forever, something that we saw in the previous game too, was the fact that he was doing really well and was ahead early on with his net worth. And here again on the Legion Commander, it's going into a
Radiant's
pipe.
bottom tower is under attack.
He's also got, yeah, he's got the hood delivered, so he's going to finish up that pipe first.
I like this style of Legion Commander a lot. I feel like if you're Zoomers, you already have Void Spirit, who's great at initiating. You already have Earthshaker, who's great at like counter initiating. You know, you have a lot of stunners. Like, do you really need a guy to jump in and duel people? Not really. You just need somebody to save. And so if he builds like this with the pipe, he's just a save hero, and he can cancel the lasso, he can take off the searing chains, he can take off the enchant. It's really nice to play like this when you have such good initiation already. Monkeys is an impressive dude. Like he's really like apexed in skill, I think, recently.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Hit an apex, I should say.
What did he finish in the Twitch Rivals?
Radiant's
It's
bottom
Ocean
tower
taking a lot of
is
damage
under
from
attack.
Crit. There's the lasso. They'll get the damage to get the kill. Now Crit trying to TP out, and the damage won't be there for Sammy Boy.
I think the finals was Team Lelis versus... Is it BSJ? Team BSJ? Was that? Or was it Monkeys? I think he was either second to last or second place. I mean, there's only 4 teams in that, so it's a weird one. But...
Top 4 finish.
Yeah, there you go. That's a big tournament with all the big boys in it. Premier tournament. Technically, I came first place. I was just a stand-in. I'm a LAN winner.
And who is Slack substituting for? Did he take another second place?
PVD. No. He last place. 4th place, actually. Sorry.
Yeah, top 4 finish for Slacks as
Yeah,
the deserve.
that's huge. Slacks has got a nice competitive career going on for himself, actually.
I mean, I can't say I'm a second place TI finisher. That's for sure.
You're in the draft for the rivals, at least.
Sightseeing chains, fissure missing from Ocean as they continue to pressure this top tier
Dire's
1.
top tower is under attack.
Very hard to get a duel on the Ember. I mean, even if you do, you might not kill him. It's with Legion going for this build, he's not a huge threat. He's just very tanky and kind of just essentially just trying to pressure, trying to be annoying. Gunner's almost got his Yule Scepter too, so with that he can start catching out the Batrider, taking off the Ember Spirit Flame Guard. Ember pings out the smoke, so they saw it with a ward. There's no way that they should die to this on EG.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We've got Crick continuing to just farm up. He's doing a really good job. He's got himself the Boots of Travel going into the Blink Dagger. We'll pick up a couple of bounty runes. And Arteezy seems to have been unkept here from 4Zoomers. As he's gone over towards bottom and has been freely farming for a little while.
Yeah, he's huge. I mean, this hero doesn't really farm that quickly. It's pretty impressive when people have, 7k net worth at 15 minutes. Top of net worth with Spectre. He doesn't have a Necro. He's just farming it up with the Soul Ring and Yasha and coming out of that really strong laning phase.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They do have the Haunt, so they can take a fight mid if you're EG.
Fight, Searing Chains on a Gunner as well as Monkeys Forever. Overwhelming odds thrown. Hookshot comes to the back lines. I don't think they'd hit the mark, but Monkeys Forever now in the cogs. They will use the Haunt. They'll move over towards Husky. Fissure comes in. Sammy Boy joining the fight, but Monkeys Forever. He'll get low. He'll end up dead. He'll be the first one to fall, but they end up losing Kid Track. Ulti from Husky doing a lot of damage on Arteezy, who's on the high ground, but still dead. Lasso, Gunner, Echo Slam from Ocean. This is big. EG lose 3. They're losing even more numbers as Rioya tries to use that remnant to get the kill here on a Gunner, but a lot of these heroes low on the side of 4Zoomers. Flame Break hits, mixes up the bunch. They get the kill into Sammy Boy as well as Ocean, so all of a sudden it's a 3 for 3. Gunner getting chased by Crit. Dissimulate, trying to jump, get away. Does he have Astral Step? He's got it in 2 seconds. The 8th Remnant, and he'll jump to the high ground, look for the TP, and just gets away. Oh, just barely. Almost even died in the well.
So close. Yeah, I mean, he made really good space in that fight. I'm surprised it didn't go better for EG. I think there was a bit of lack of hard commitment there from Rioya. Like, he had 3 remnants up that entire time, and he waited until his whole team was dead before jumping in with everything. Rioya, mid lane, he gets dueled. He's dead.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage in and a lot of damage here here for Monkeys Forever is he'll gain another 18, so that puts him at 28. Maybe a lot's really pushing it, but they'll also all tip Ryoya. He gets about a third of a level there.
Structures are fortified.
Not to rub salt in the wound at all here, but one of my big critiques of
Radiant's top tower
Ryoya
is being denied.
and just the way that he plays mid in this patch, I think doesn't necessarily lend itself to how a lot of other people play mid. To like say it lightly, like mid laners do a lot of making space, running around, jumping in, like kind of going crazy, and like Gunnar just did for his team. And Ryoya typically plays like a very carry-esque mid lane, which has super fallen off recently. You see very few like ODs, Medusa mids. And if you do, there's like a mid in the side lane.
Risky, easy pick off there for EG with a combination of the hook shot as well as the impetus damage coming in from a fly.
Hard to be a witch doctor against a clockwork. That's
Ocean's dead.
Sammy Boy finishes Rosh. This whole time he would just sneak it in with monkeys. With a Battle Fury too. So he's
repeat of last game again. Just, you know, not the best laning phase for Sammy Boy, but into the Battle Fury, and then the rest of the team trying to pick up and make some space.
Yeah, I've not seen this matchup in the late game. You know, typically Ursa would be something that you'd expect to get kind of owned by a Spectre, but with the Battle Fury build, if Ursa has items, I do kind of feel like Ursa probably doesn't care that much about
The
Spectre.
Aether Remnant, this should lock in the duel. The Haunt comes through. The Echo Slam committed. They get the kill on Ryoya, and now Arteezy commits to the Haunt of the backlines. Cast coming in, Manta dodge. Arteezy still trying to back up with the Aether Remnant. Now the ulti from Husky gets stopped thanks to the hook shot of Kit Track. Husky dead. Arteezy able to take away a potential kill from the hands of 4Zoomers.
This Maledict seems really good against a lot of these high HP heroes that would normally be very difficult to kill. Like, you just wouldn't have enough damage when they have treads to kill them. But, you know, if you get somebody to like 70% HP, Maledict basically just kills them. So it doesn't matter if you have 2,000 HP at this point. So I like that they're prioritizing as well. The EG is going for Husky, that they're stopping his ulti, because it's doing a lot in these fights. It's about time they go for him.
Boy spotted. Lasso. Nowhere to TP into to help out Sammy Boy, and he is going to lose this Aegis. They're not even committed to come back over. And they are leaving him out to dry, and he is killed off twice pretty quickly. Meanwhile, top, though, they at least get a clockwork, but Aegis gone.
Both teams at the same time go for this kind of greedy play, sending one hero to an outpost to try to get both outposts. Both teams pay for it, but when you're Zoomers, you don't want to lose in Aegis as well as your carry to make that outpost play. So EG, a little bit better placement of their heroes on the map there, sacrificing the clockwork to make that play, whereas Zoomers, they go for the, hey, this guy has an Aegis, EG's probably going to run away from him. But EG called the bluff. They killed the Ursa.
There's Ryoya, Maelstrom going into the BKB, then the Lincolns. Arteezy, meanwhile, going Manta into the Diffusal. Sammy Boy with the Battle Fury, he is straight into the BKB himself. So smoking from 4Zoomers. Got the Blink Dagger finished now for Monkeys Forever. Ags being built for Void Spirit.
Radiant are scanning.
So if you're Monkeys, you honestly can duel almost any hero. You probably want to go for the Batrider or the Ember if you can. Yeah, that's a big pickup. If they can get that.
Duels into the duel, dissimulate, and nothing they can do about it. Sightseeing chains, but unable to keep his Batrider alive.
I feel like so much of this game is dependent on crit being alive in the fights. So killing the Batrider does make a lot of sense. Ryoya being a bit annoying down here, but he's just being cheeky. He doesn't really have anybody helping him behind him. There is the Haunt. There is the Haunt they have to be worried about.
That was kind of you.
Sound from Husky to Sammy Boy.
Arteezy is huge. How is he getting this much farm? This hero does not farm quickly. He's just always taking the safest farm.
This
This guy knows where to
afforded
find
a
it.
lot of space.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. With the Soul Ring too, he can just keep spamming out all these camps.
Kind of wild.
Arteezy's always been an impressive player to watch in terms of just like getting farm on heroes that probably shouldn't be getting a lot of farm.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So out on the gunner, they'll commit haunt to this. So Void Spirit, dissimulate, hook shot, not gonna hit. Gunner, he's still in some trouble. He doesn't have another astral step, so he'll end up buying out, but still dead.
Really nice prediction from Arteezy. You could see that the moment Gunner pressed to dissimulate, Arteezy runs up to the north. He knows that if Gunner goes to the south, he's dead anyway, so the only choice that Gunner has is to basically run away from his own base. Which is not super intuitive, but it's basically the only play that he can make where he survived. So Arteezy says, you know what? That's not going to happen. Fly's got his solar crest now.
Yeah, same
On
as
a
got his BKB.
Yeah, that'll be big for these fights. I mean, there's just so much damage that spell immunity takes away. It's like the Spectre Diffusal, the Dispersion, the Desolate, as well as Enchantress Impetus, Batrider, Ember Spirit, of course, all of his damage. It says Desolate pierces spell immunity, but does it actually? Is that one of the things that got changed when they changed the how spell immunity works? It might have been changed. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Do you know Doom's W goes through spell immunity now?
I did not know that. I don't see that hero that much anymore.
Isn't that weird? It's like it's clearly just a magic damage spell. Why in Gaben's name? Tell me. There's no reason for it.
Because Ice Frog said something.
He does what he wants.
God, Arteezy is massive.
You'd think he has a Battle Fury. You really would. He's out farming Ursa Battle Fury
Yeah.
somehow. Against a 1k gold lead too. So it's not like his team is just owning him.
Sammy boy. Hit with the lasso, the damage comes in, and he'll use that ult. Flame Break, BKB. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Force Staff from Crit onto Arteezy to continue chasing. Now onto the high ground. There's the Echo Storm coming in from Ocean. Do they want to commit to this? They got the duel. It's not going to be enough damage to get the duel victory, but it does hold him in place long enough to have the fissure and finish him off. They don't kill Sammy Boy. They lose Husky, but look at the damage that Fly's taking. He's got another Maledict tick on him that will end up taking his life. They've got the Searing Chains. That roots up this Void Spirit. Gunner moving forward, trying to kill off Ryoya, but he does have a Remnant onto the high ground if he does want to leave. Now he's been silenced. Astral Step across. Hookshot hits on a 3. Crit comes over. Cogs around them all, but the damage coming in is enough to kill off Kit Track. They look over at Crit, who will Force Staff back onto the high ground. The Flame Break pushes them even closer. The Sleight of Fist coming through from Ryoya to get the kill on Ocean. This is a wild mess. And they were waiting for the Remnant, maybe to get him locked in an Aether Remnant. But press the attack, the Astral Step, silence is there, Ryoya is gone.
Bested each
The tips come out. That's another player you can probably tilt too, is Ryoya. Oh boy. Yeah, this Resonant Pulse, once again, it is absolutely putting in work. Let's see, do we have anything that can dispel it? I mean, you have Manta Style from Arteezy, but we talked about this. You have 2 charges, so Manta's not really the best. There is absolutely zero way for Ryoya to currently dispel the Resonant Pulse silence. And same for Crit. So if he goes in with his Pulse on Gunner, he just completely disables all of EG right now until Ryoya gets his BKB. Good time to fight if you're Zoomers. Very good time.
They take a 2,000 net worth lead. They kill off a bunch of these heroes on the side of EG. Legion Commander close to the Heaven's Halberd, so Monkeys Forever. Big item for him to pick up.
It's a broken item, man. Halberd is so nice. The stats on it are ridiculous. It upgrades so much from just the Sange, and even the evasion component of it increases by like 10%. Ooh, another lasso.
Used, and hook shot comes in. Gunner, he'll be taken out. Use that lasso. They get the kill onto the Void Spirit once again. And with that, I think they're maybe thinking about going into Rosh. They're definitely around this pit. Not the easiest one to take, but I think even just showing that they're going into the Rosh pit might be just to, you know, either you come at us or, you know, we'll have the Aegis. You're going to force the buyback on this Void Spirit by doing so.
Yeah, this is the team secret strat. Like you can see that it's just our team in here. So they force it. Ooh, Monkey jumps right in.
Yeah, he was looking for a duel if anybody stayed into the pit, but they've got themselves the dagger coming from Arteezy. The silence on everybody. The Manta is going to be used by Arteezy, but it gets by the cast. Duel comes in onto an illusion. The Echo Slam's not that great. And now they look towards the backlines. Ryoya with BKB, but taking a lot of damage. He's in some trouble. He backs off. They've got the Aether Remnant locking up Fly for a second, who's used the Solar Crest on a Gunner, but it's not followed up by anybody on the side of EG. So they hit the bash from Sammy Boy. They'll get the kill on a Fly. Crit trying to open this up with Flame Break, but won't get the Enchantress away, who's forced to buy back. Sammy Boy with a double kill, and now the question is, do they go into the pit?
It seems to be just a repeat of the last game, this same fight around Rosh, where Zoomers, because they have the Ursa, you have to be constantly worried about them taking Rosh. I mean, even though EG still, they have the Clockwork once again, so they can contest it, but they can't really take it that quickly. We saw that with Arteezy trying to solo it. Like, it's not fast, even remotely.
Aether Remnant, the lockdown is there. Monkeys Forever looking for the duel and immediately blows him up. He's got the buyback. Cast bounce around onto Ryoya as well as Arteezy. Arteezy's also disarmed thanks to the new freshly minted Heaven's Halberd on Monkeys Forever. So like the Searing Chains forcing the enrage from Sammy Boy, but 30 seconds is honestly nothing when it continues to engage, disengage, wait, and go. Duels again, Aether Remnant, Ryoya forcing out the BKB, as does Sammy Boy, but he's got a bash on a Ryoya who's forced to Remnant, or so he thinks. He's got to escape Remnant now as the Haunt comes in, the Fissure's out, but Gunner trying to get the kill here onto the Bat Rider while Ryoya and Arteezy focus on Ocean. Ocean doesn't have the Echo Slam to work with. The cast hits onto Arteezy, doesn't bounce anywhere. Ocean just a shot from death. Cast actually goes to the neutrals all the way down to this Clockwork. Crit ends up dead to Gunner. Gunner's got the Yules. He's getting low and will end up dead. Ryoya claims the life of the Void Spirit, looking over at Monkeys Forever, but the actually the Fissure is blocking Monkeys Forever from going on to this Ryoya Ember Spirit. The ulti from Husky continuing on. They've got the lasso on a Sammy Boy. Now they've locked up the Earth, so they'll get the kill and take him out. Oh man, none of them have buyback either. Ryoya does end up dead.
Oh, it's Ryoya. What? Okay, Arteezy.
His life will eventually be claimed. Arteezy gets the triple kill, and now they'll be looking back at Rosh.
So, obviously, really great from EG. Really good kiting coming from them. Arteezy's massive amount of farm obviously coming in handy. But I do want to give a quick shout out to Gunner in that fight, because what he did is he Yuled somebody. He already had a Remnant up, and he used one Aether Remnant to pull somebody into a second Aether Remnant. Did they get anything with the courier? Oh, he stole the cheese! He stole the cheese with the courier! Oh my god! Gunner. This has to be changed, man. I have seen this in so many games. You know the problem? So I made a video about this the other day, and to make the video, I was doing a little bit of research. And so I went into a lobby. The courier, while it's shielded, can be right-clicked. So it blocks you from picking up the cheese. You can't click the cheese because of the courier. It's ridiculous.
Fissure and the bash on a Fly, but the Nature's Attendants as well as Cogs pushes Sammy Boy away. So it makes it impossible to pick up the cheese. That's why you're just able to swoosh in and take some of these items.
Okay, not exactly impossible, because you have to position it so that it's in front of their camera, like where their mouse is, depending on their camera. So it makes it harder, but the thing with the courier is Ooh, Ryoya.
Ooh, Fissure. Now they'll have the duel to follow it up. Fly's right here, but isn't going to be enough. They'll use the Haunt. They'll go to the backlines with the Husky. The Echo Time's committed. They'll get the kill on Ryoya, and now the buyback's coming in from both these heroes. They'll focus their attention on Ocean. The impetus damage coming through on Ocean is enough to get the kill. Arteezy's jumped over to Gunner, but they get the kill on Kid-Track, so two heroes dead on the side of EG as they fall back on one. That's going to be Ryoya, who gets silenced immediately forced to use that BKB, but there's the enrage from Sammy Boy. He doesn't have a BKB for 15 few more seconds. Ryoya moving forward, Sleight of Fist. Nothing to follow that up just yet. Flame Break pushes back Monkeys Forever as well as Husky, but they've got the Dissimulate as well as the Taunt with the Aether Remnant. Ryoya in a little bit of trouble with the Sleight of Fist trying to survive, and now Remnant's away. But they get the kill into Sammy Boy. Arteezy continuing to move in. He doesn't have a lot of mana to work with. The ult coming in from Husky. It's not going to be enough as he gets killed by Ryoya. And now 3 heroes down on the side of 4Zoomers. Ryoya on the run. He just bought back, so he needs to be very careful. Monkeys Forever slowed up. Disarm on Arteezy. He tries to TP away and will be successful in doing so. Now they focus their attention on a Gunner. They Dissimulate for some distance as well as the Aether Remnant down. He'll Astral Step, continuing to move away, but the Aether Remnant only pulls in Fly. Arteezy right on him with Ryoya. They've got the root. They have the damage. They'll get the kill. They'll take out the Void Spirit. Doesn't have buyback, and Ryoya, adds the cherry on top and throws a tip his way.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So here's the thing with this Spectre Ursa matchup is,
under attack.
I was thinking Ursa would do fine against Spectre in the late game with this Battle Fury, but that was with the kind of the assumption that he was going to keep farming. With Spectre having a 1 item advantage, I mean Spectre's one of the greatest late game heroes in Dota, right? Like this is the TI8 Ana hero, the ultimate carry of carries. So if you're on even ground with the Spectre, it's very dangerous.
So now Monkeys Forever in trouble. Flame Break again, and this is troublesome for the Legion Commander, who's dead for 75 seconds. Sammy Boy looks to move in on this fight, but he might regret that as he starts to run and uses those spider legs to get to the high ground.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
60 seconds, no Legion. That's the lasso save, that's the enchant save. Seared Chains is very important.
Sammy Boy, he's going in on this, but the Basher picked up from Arteezy. It's a first hit bash on a Sammy Boy who uses the Enrage and is now forced to BKB just to leave.
And that was weird that the Flame Break didn't knock him back there. Like something with the status resist from the Ursa ult. That was very strange.
Aether Remnant on Arteezy. Again, he's still working with an Aegis for another 23 seconds.
Takes so little damage with that
Radiant's bottom tower
Solar Crest
is
on
under
him.
attack.
Arteezy. He's got like 40 armor.
Back and smoke.
Remember when Solar gave evasion? That was nuts.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Just give somebody like basically a butterfly. Ludicrous.
Radiant
Did you know it gives
will
move
stand.
speed? I didn't know that for the longest time.
I don't think I knew that.
Like if you use it on somebody, they get 10% move speed. They get a Yasha.
Okay. Definitely, a decent little bump up as well.
Oh yeah, for Spectre too. Very important.
I think it was looking to hook shot away, but now the Aether Remnant is there with the duel. More duel damage for Monkeys Forever.
It's a freebie. Free kill. But we get 3 bounty runes for EG, so, giving away your clockwork is really the least of your worries at this point.
And as much as Monkeys Forever has a bunch of duel damage, there are times where he just doesn't feel as effective as you like him to do, that's for sure. Hunt comes in, and now we'll move over, look towards Ocean. Ocean does have the Echo Summon, the Aegis has been reclaimed, so the Aether Remnant locks up Arteezy. Cast bouncing around, as well as the Maledict. There's the ulti, forced hit for the low ground. Fissure, don't think that landed, but Gunner and Sammy Boy are going to continue to chase with the Spider Legs moving Sammy Boy from the high ground to the low ground, but now he needs to leave. The Enrage is about to run out. Ryoya locked up thanks to another Aether Remnant. Run down by Gunner. Impetus damage from Fly. Aether Remnant once again. Silence on a 3. Just needs to be very careful. There are 5 heroes on the high ground. I don't know if EG want to go up and look.
They will go up this high ground though. Maybe 2 siege creeps. Just pressuring, just trying to get Zoomers to come back to their base. So that way EG can push bot.
Continue to get closer and closer to this Abyssal Blade here for Spectre, who I think was
Good for a heart before, and then he switched to the Abyssal?
no, Satanic. He was looking Satanic, and then he swapped over to the
Radiant's
Abyssal.
bottom tower is under attack.
Abyssal makes a lot of sense. It'll let him trade favorably with the Ursa. They can man fight, and I think the Spectre will win. As well as like the BKBs come out, and that's when you really want some sort of Scotty or Abyssal, and It just feels like Abyssal's a better Scotty, despite the Scotty getting buffed. Abyssal's just... It's been so good since they changed it to have like the little blink that you get with it. Really nice.
There it is. So, commits to the Abyssal Blade, doesn't have buyback,
Dire's
which
top tower is
at
under
times
attack.
has shown itself to be very dangerous.
Could be a throw.
I just don't, you know, that's a lot of confidence coming in. You're 10-3 and 12. You haven't really been able to be locked down enough to get killed yet. I think that's a confident play that can win you the game right here, right now.
I think so. I think it's pretty reasonable. I don't think it's a huge risk, just given how the game has gone so far. He feels kind of unkillable at this point.
What level is he? He's 25, so he's got the plus 32% haunt damage, or haunt illusion damage. 3 levels ahead of Sammy Boy.
Yeah, those illusions do more damage than the hero itself, which is kind of gross, kind of disgusting.
Look at the difference in XP. It was so close for so long, and then look at just the stock market plunge.
What button do I press?
7?
Am I going to delete System 32 by doing this? Oh, there it is.
No, you're going to pause the game, actually. Lasso comes in on the Gunner, and, well, he was very easily killed, and the Haunt comes over. A hook shot to the back lines. Sammy Boy and Gunner are both dead. Sammy Boy doesn't actually have buyback. Husky falls as well. Remnant forward, Searing Chains, but there's the press the attack. It's not going to be enough. The first hit bash comes in from Arteezy to get the kill. The disarm's too late. And now you're dealing with buyback from Gunner, but none of these heroes that are also dead for the side of 4Zoomers have a buyback.
Really good target priority from Kitrak. He's been super annoying for Earthshaker and the Witch Doctor in this game. Like, we are not seeing Husky and Ocean able to do anything. And I think they were a huge contributing factor to the success of the last game. Like, these two were starting every single fight. Husky was getting these crucial maledicts on tanky heroes, as well as like popping the ult, and of course Ocean, he's got the Echo Slam, so good focus from Kitrak this game. On exactly the same hero that he was playing in the first one. Gunner, can you do it again? Doesn't look like it.
Radiant's
No.
courier
He tried. I mean, this is the one you want to steal too with the Aegis Scepter.
has fallen to the dire.
Alright, who gets it? Who gets it? He's pinging it.
Generation.
Yeah,
Looks like
Rioya, for sure. And I say for sure because he was the only one walking by the pit, so I knew I couldn't be wrong.
This is true.
Are scanning.
It's shocking to me that this last Rosh, it's still like this. You know, 15k net worth or something you get from it. Like a full Aghanim Scepter. It's almost impossible to win now for Zoomers just because of that Rosh. It's like the most important thing in Dota. Third Rosh. It's so broken.
They're starting to siege the top lane. Taking it slow might be a little bit gun shy, just based off losing that first game. But I say that, and immediately into the Haunt. He'll look towards Samuel. He's already one shot from dead. If he got the bash, he might have just killed him off. Rioya moving in forward with the Remnant. He'll be right on top of Sammy Boy. He pops the BKB, tries to turn around, but the Fisher blocks him away from Rioya. They get the kill into Husky. Husky buys back immediately with the Slider Fist hitting on all of these heroes on the side of 4Zoomers. But EG, they commit no further.
Great saves on Sammy Boy there from his team. If they didn't have these like 4 staves and pipes for him, he just dies there and the game is over. Really great saves. Good job from EG though, recognizing that they had committed everything and basically just saying, okay, you know what? We're gonna chill here. We're not gonna overcommit. Good discipline.
Yeah, I've been calling the overcommit the LGD. As much as I love that team, it feels like that's a little bit appropriate. And duel out on Arteezy. The hook shot follows it up, but the ulti from Husky is going to be enough damage to get the kill here onto the Spectre. They're going to need to kill him twice. They'll lock him down, take out the first life, and maybe just retreat off this. I think that might be the proper call, but the Remnant from downtown, Rioya coming in from like halfway across the map. They've got the lasso on a Gunner. They'll get the kill. He's dead for 2 minutes. They lose Kitrak, who does have buyback. He'll use it immediately, but the Remnant over to the back lines, looking over at Ocean. And he used the Echo Slam, but it doesn't really do that much damage. BKB pop by Sammy Boy gets nothing out of it except his life lost. So he's dead for 84 seconds. Monkey's forever trying to fight, but he's got the Soul Curse from Fly on him, so that minus armor is making it way easier for Yoya to get the kill. Fissure in promotion. They'll get the kill after he bought back. 4 heroes gone for the side of 4Zoomers. Maybe even a 5th Fly 1v1. Please. Remnant Ryoya will just take the kill from him.
That was a support battle, Ryoya. You don't get involved with those.
Man.
Sprites are with
Come on,
us.
man.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, that was I respect the play from Zoomers. They went on Arteezy there, even though he has Aegis, and at first glance, that may look really stupid. And obviously, you know, it didn't pan out, but basically the reason they did that is because EG was playing War of Attrition, and Zoomers were losing. And the way that they were doing that was using the Spectre Aegis. So Zoomers basically said, okay, we're going to try to take this Aegis, and if we can get out and also take the Aegis, this will let us stall the game for a little bit longer, and EG won't be able to play this War of Attrition anymore. So I think it's a really ballsy play, and I respect it. But obviously, you know, there's a reason that EG was putting the Spectre in front there with that Aegis. Like, killing him twice is almost impossible, and it's very unlikely that a team like EG is going to be not around the Spectre. But once again, when you're Zoomers, what choice do you have? EG is just slowly ending the game. Like, you have to do something, right? So I respect it.
Interesting TP from Sammy Boy. And there's the Abyssal. Okay.
Just like that.
Oh,
He was there, but he's not anymore.
you blink and you miss it. 83 seconds dead. Mega creeps here for EG. Now, Astral Step across 2 heroes. BKB pop by Ryoya. Sleight of Fist. Husky in the cogs. Impetus damage is heavy on the Husky, who tries to back up. They've got themselves the last one, but the duel actually pulls him back. Husky with a great ult once again. It'll be enough damage to get the kill on the crit, but these creeps are coming in. These creeps are looking for the tier 4s. Monkeys forever won't be able to survive at all, but press the attack won't be enough. Kid Track also gone. 2 heroes dead. The buyback comes in from crit. They'll finally take out Gunner. He doesn't have buyback, and Zoomers will tap out. And it will be a 1-1 split at the end of this round robin BO2.
I think you're you know, reasonably okay with this if you're Zoomers. If you're EG, you're probably thinking, you know, it's a strong team. I mean, Zoomers is a strong team. They're one of the stronger teams in this tournament, given their previous performance in the last couple of tournaments they've played. So I know it's, you know, very fence city to say that, but I really do feel like for both teams, you're kind of okay with the outcome of this. It would be different if it was like a best of 3, but it's a best of 2. You won 1. Both teams are kind of like, well, it's one of the more formidable opponents. So it's you know, you can kind of shape up for the playoffs, and when there's that pressure too of the playoffs, a lot of people will either crumble or people will come together and play a lot better.
Yeah, so 4Zoomers, they were close. They had it close for quite some time, but at the end of the day, EG, they split the series 1-1, and the 3.86 or whatever odds don't come true for 4Zoomers. However,
those are way off. Those odds, those are way off. Like that is not that is no way close to what the odds should be. Like these teams are pretty close actually, especially without Bulba. Like he's a, you know, true off-lane player. They've been playing with him for like 2 weeks. I suppose like the bettors, of course, didn't know that, but it's
coming in, it's hard to know that. But at the same time, it's like it's name recognition, and I feel like
really
that always pulls odds. You see it with like
100%.
Navi a lot.
Yeah, it's which is. But if, you know, if you watch NA Dota, you know, like the Zoomers. I mean, they played the very first tournament they played in. They won. They came first place. So it's you know, they're a very, very phenomenal team.
So that'll be Zoomer's last series of the day, or only series of the day. Next is EG against Plasma. I don't actually know this stack too well, but we'll get into that next. And EG against Plasma, then Thunder Predator against Midas Club, and then finally to finish it off, a good one of Business Associates against Beast Coast. So 3 more BO2s on the way. We'll be back in a moment. I'm your caster Bkop, joined here by Jenkins. We'll see you in a second.